they would hold the cats like a bottle of wine being served by a waiter.
And they're stretching.
Christmas is not Christmas if you don't have snow.
Relax and drink beer.
My wife bought me a turtleneck.
Burn it down.
That's уздечка. Have you ever heard of that? Уздечка.
So I was in Sin City where we were all adults.
And they had this huge cat. It was so big. It was like probably the size of the Big Apple school sign
You
or something.
mean the cement?
Yes, yeah, there was some kind of damp.
Just be there, right? Just exist, right? To exist.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I've eaten salads for 7 days back then.
Yes.
So that was my food.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Apple School Podcast, where the goal of this show is to help you improve your English listening skills by listening to us. So my name is Benjamin. I'm from London, and I have 3 wonderful guests with us today. Our first guest is
Olga.
And secondly,
Varya.
and last but not least, we have
Ugur.
So welcome back, guys. Happy New Year to all of our listeners and to everyone here. Today is the day after Russian New Year, Old New Year, excuse me.
I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. It was that's what I mean. It's the day after. So it's New Year's Day or Old New Year's Day. When did this change? Do you know, Olga?
Not quite remember. I don't remember. But I know it's something to do with the calendar, maybe.
Yeah, it was after the revolution.
Yeah.
And they went from the Julius calendar to the Gregorian.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it is the old calendar. And that's why Russians have Christmas on the 7th of January. So what did you all do for your New Year's holidays? Anything special?
Went to the concert.
Oh, which concert did you go to?
There were just some local bands, but they were really amazing. Like I never thought a local bands can actually play, stuff like that. So wow, it was just.
What was the venue? Sorry, I was just curious.
That's уздечка. Have you ever heard of that? Уздечка.
Oh,
right?
I've never heard of that.
So it's like a club, like nightclub, I guess. So yeah.
Cool. So you went to a club.
Yeah, and I'm going there today to the concert again. Yeah.
Very nice. So what about you, or did you do anything? Did you just relax?
Yeah, I relaxed and watched videos like the serials and the movies that I haven't watched. And I finished them finally and just relaxed and drank beer.
And what time did you get up?
Like 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it stays so dark anyway. Who knows what time it is?
Yeah, right.
Wake up, have breakfast.
Yeah.
Drink.
Well, speaking of beer, actually, for our listeners and for our viewers, we had a wonderful podcast just before the new year where we discussed different beers and we tried different beers on the set. So definitely check that out. And you can find that on our website or on the Telegram chat for the Big Apple School. And yeah, it was a very beery, boozy podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else happened over the new year? What did you do, Varya?
Well, I did go see the lights along Lennon Street. Lennon Square.
Yeah, so like for our listeners who are not from Novosibirsk, we had the New Year capital of Russia hosted here in Novosibirsk. And
they kind of cheated us because I think they took some lights from Central Park and put them over there. Yeah. And I think they cheated us with the ice skating rink too. Not that I would go ice skating, but I like to watch. And there was no ice skating rink at Central Park or Lennon Square, as I saw.
Oh, right. Well, didn't the skating rink have a funny shape a few years ago?
Yeah. Maybe they got tired of...
how do we explain that?
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
So everyone in Russia discussed it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who are not familiar, just type in Novosibirsk skating rink shape.
Be careful, yeah.
For the new year. It was quite funny. So maybe they realized they don't want to be the joke of the world.
I guess so. Yeah.
But there was a skating rink over at Spartak, as I understood, that people said. Yeah.
Yes, at the football stadium. Exactly. Well, you don't say the soccer stadium.
Soccer stadium.
Oh, it was soccer you're talking about.
Well,
I thought it was football.
no, just the classic difference between British English and American English.
Right. I thought it was football because everyone said football. I didn't think it was soccer.
Yeah. Well, so I had a fun New Year's holiday. I just relaxed a lot, but I went to the theatre. I'm not a theatre person. Don't normally love the theatre, but I went and saw a play called Avventuristi. Have you heard of this one, Olga?
Not quite sure.
It wasn't my favorite play, but it was interesting to see a play in Russian. And to be honest, I couldn't understand a lot of it. I could understand bits of it. But
And where did it take place?
It's in the Krasny Fakul, so the Red Torch Theatre.
So yeah, that's why I don't know it. I really don't go there a lot. So
it was interesting to see. I mean, I'm not a huge theatre person, but it was fun to see. And also, I was on the metro and I saw an advert for a cat show. And I don't believe you like cat shows, do you?
Right. I think they, yeah.
But I just thought I'd take a look at it just to see what it was like. And I saw my favorite breed of cat being a British short hair. And they had this huge cat. It was so big. It was like probably the size of the Big Apple school sign in front of us, for those of you who are watching the video version of this podcast.
Do you have a big fat head and a little ears?
Exactly.
And big old eyes and a squished in nose?
Yes.
Eyes, yeah.
And then, of course, you had the Persian cats who had the even more squished in. But yeah, they seem to be treating the animals pretty nicely, but I don't know if I would like it if I were a cat.
Yeah.
One of the cats was hissing at the other cats, and I think that's a sign that he didn't want to be there very much. And another thing that I thought was strange was when they presented the cats to be judged, they would hold the cats like a bottle of wine being served by a waiter.
And they're stretching.
They stretch it out. And I thought maybe this is not the cat's favorite thing to experience, but it was an interesting thing to see nonetheless. I had never been to a cat show before that, but yeah, it was on the left side of the river here in Novosibirsk, Mark Square, in a shopping center.
Oh, shopping center, really?
Which was funny.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was my New Year's celebration. And of course, I had a lot of great food. Did you have good food?
I've eaten salads for 7 days back then.
Yes.
So that was my food.
And what kind of salads were your favorite?
It's hard to say. I love all of them. I don't really think I have my favorite ones.
What do you think about Salat Olivia?
We always have it. What about you guys, by the way? Do you actually make it?
Well, my wife's family, her mother made an amazing selection of meals for New Year's. We had everything from sealed podshuboy, which in English would be...
Oh, yeah, love it.
Herring under a fur coat. I know it's a funny translation, but beetroots.
Layer cake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really tasty.
Yeah.
You tried it?
I tried it,
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Varya, did you try it?
No, I haven't tried it.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know it sounds disgusting, but it's really tasty if you like fish.
Well, you're a vegetarian, aren't you?
Yeah, probably wouldn't have it. But I found some beautiful dragon fruit at what we call Yarich or something.
Yarich, right.
Yeah. And so I've been going there and getting my dragon fruit.
Actually, I've found that Yarcha has pretty good fruit,
Yeah, they really do. The apples are crisp. Yeah.
Not that we're getting paid by Yarcha. Come on, Yarcha, give us some money. They do have good fruit.
Oh, but their shop assistants aren't very friendly at all. They're so young and preoccupied with other things besides me, because I think I'm the star when I come up to a cash register. Look, I'm here, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, I found the shop assistants at Ashan to be more friendly than the ones at Yarcha. Well, guys, let me just do some housekeeping before we move on to the main portion of the podcast. So definitely check out our after show segments to this podcast show. The after show information can be found in our Telegram podcast, and we have a special private chat on Telegram which you can join, and you can be a part of a conversation and practice your English writing skills and speaking skills if you want to send us voice recordings of your voices. And also in the after show segments, you can see us and you can get access to a special vocabulary list of all the words that we discuss in the podcast itself. This vocab list will be very useful for you on your English learning journey. So definitely check that out. And also I want to say a special thank you to Lerundel, who left a comment for us on YouTube. Lerundel said, "Hey there, I love your podcast. Will there be a New Year or Christmas podcast?" Well, we're not going to have a specifically Christmas, New Year podcast, although we did just talk about Christmas and New Year. Today we're going to talk about the subject of winter itself. So I guess that all kind of feeds into it. But thank you, Lerundel. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your feedback. So definitely keep it coming. And also another thing I have to mention is we have online speaking clubs, and you can find information about the online speaking clubs on our Telegram chat. And we're aiming to have them at least once a week. So definitely check that out. And if you want to join and speak on these online speaking clubs, just drop your name in the Telegram chat and mention what level you're at, and we'll be able to accommodate you and, of course, help you practice your English speaking skills. So yeah, that's about it. So freezing, or are you not freezing right now?
Right now, it's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
So Novice Abyss, what's the weather today?
It's snowy.
Snowy?
Minus 15.
Yeah, minus 15.
It's warmer.
Oh, windy too. It's windy. Yeah.
And really humid, as always.
Would you
Which makes
classify it
colder.
as a blizzard?
No, really, I guess.
No, it's not.
A whirly wind,
Snowing,
but not a blizzard.
Mhm.
Well, minus 15, if you said minus 15 to anyone in London, or I guess back where you're from, it would be, or where you're from as
Istanbul,
well, yeah.
Mhm.
It would just be,
Crazy,
it
yeah.
would be a
Mhm.
crazy
Yeah.
kind of suggestion. But 15 is almost tropical weather
Oh, it's warm for us.
Novice
No,
Abyss.
it's
Yeah.
warm, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared with
Here in
last
Siberia.
week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Last week.
And we are
was
talking about
cold,
Celsius, not Fahrenheit. We have to make that
right.
clear.
Mhm.
Well, let's mention that. Is there a particular formula you have to follow to convert Celsius
Yes,
to
there
Fahrenheit?
is, but I don't know it. But I just Google it.
I think it's something like, it's really complicated. It's something like minus 5/8, and you have to multiply it. But it's really, what makes it really strange is the fact that minus 40 Celsius and minus 40 Fahrenheit is the exact same.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Measurements.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just works out that way. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Just by
really
I know that,
coincidence.
yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly I did not study mathematics to a higher level at school. I kind of wish I did, to be honest, but I think there is a special kind of formula that you have to follow in order to convert the two temperatures.
Same with the measurements, like an inches to centimeters there.
Yes,
Right.
but I would say inches, centimeters, they follow a linear kind of conversion. If I'm using the right word, of course, linear.
Linear, yeah.
Because it always remains a constant throughout the conversion, whereas the Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion, it follows a kind of curve on a graph. So minus 40 is equal to minus 40, but then 100 degrees Fahrenheit is what? It's about 28 Celsius, something like that. Maybe something like that. I don't know the exact one. So it's quite
Well, we can start with 0. So 0 Celsius equals 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm.
yeah.
So you have to multiply, divide something like 32 something with something.
Well, I'm sure we have quite a few listeners who are mathematics experts. As
Please help us.
yes, Russia is filled with amazing mathematicians. So do enlighten us with your knowledge of Fahrenheit to Celsius conversions. So yeah, so pretty cold out there, and last week was absolutely wickedly
It
cold.
was horrible. I hated. It was so cold, so cold, so cold.
Right. Even for me.
When I first arrived here 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, it was cold. It was minus 35, minus 34 at one point. And at night it was minus 40. But I was surprised about how relatively easy it was to tolerate. It wasn't too crazy. I stood outside, I took a picture of myself and thought, oh, I'm really cool. I'm braving minus 34 degrees Celsius. But then I realized that year there was almost no wind.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
this
Last year was also warmer.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
year.
for
Yeah.
sure.
But
Mhm.
this one is pretty cold.
Yeah, starting in
Mhm.
November, I felt cold and clammy because it was like minus 23,
Mhm.
and then it felt like minus 30 or minus 33 because of
Yeah.
the humidity.
Mhm.
I was very uncomfortable November and December.
Yeah, me too. Right.
Yeah. But
And
this year, it was just absolutely wicked because it was the same temperature as minus 34, but it was windy.
Mhm.
And I walked to the Big Apple School on one of these colder days. It was like a 30, 35 minute
yeah.
walk. It was wickedly cold.
I was freezing. I couldn't bear with it, so I just called a taxi to
Yeah.
go back home. Well, I couldn't do that for real.
Yeah.
And this is like the first winter that I really feel like I have to cover my nose and my face.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I've noticed some of my students have come in with really red cheeks. Like, oh, you've got to cover your skin. You've got to protect your
I
skin.
do that this year. Yeah. I didn't do that last year.
Yeah.
It was all right. It
Yeah.
was warm. But this one, yeah, it's kind of
Mhm.
itchy. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife bought me a turtleneck sweater for Christmas, and it's very useful
Mhm.
to walk around with it. But the problem is if you wear glasses, winter is not your friend.
no.
Right.
Foggy
Yeah.
up.
Exactly. So we have the verb to fog up, which is a phrasal verb, and I can't go
You need
anywhere
little
without
windshield wipers on your
Yeah.
glasses.
exactly windshield wipers. Exactly. Or just your fingers.
Smear it
'Cause
around.
obviously, it's not a hygienic thing to do to just
Mhm.
get your fingers and wipe the fog or the condensation off your glasses. But when you're on a bus and you can't see anything, it's
Oh,
better to do that than to not see anything at all.
Yeah, my eyes have actually been watering this year, unlike previous years.
To have icicles formed in your eyes outside. Yeah.
And eyebrows too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eyelashes.
Yeah, the eyelashes. Yeah. Have you noticed that they kind of stick?
Stick. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And have you felt inside your nostrils?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hair inside. Yeah.
Exactly. It freezes and it's a little bit unpleasant. It's not the worst feeling in the world, but it's a little bit strange. And
It makes you cough.
yeah.
First time when you breathe.
Yeah.
It's-
Mhm.
And if you're going from a warm apartment to a warm building, it's no big deal. You've got
Mhm.
your goal. You can brave it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour if necessary. I wouldn't really want to be out more than an hour, I think.
So, well, we'll speak more about our personal tips in the after show segment. So we'll talk about perhaps our clothing and what we decide to wear in the winter in the after show section. So definitely stick by to hear more about that. But I want to ask you, do you think Christmas is not Christmas if you don't have snow?
Well, I cannot imagine Christmas without snow because, the whole life of mine, there was snow. So
Yes.
I don't know what it's like, to be honest. So I think for me, like if I, had to celebrate New Year in different country where it's really warm, I think I just wouldn't get that spirit, I guess.
Yeah. Well, or there is sometimes snow in Istanbul, yeah? Sometimes.
Sometimes I only seen twice.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
But there are snowy bits, of course, of Turkey.
Turkey, and not in Istanbul. You
Yeah.
can, all right, the eastern Turkey is like border to Georgia or Armenia. You have snowy peaks and mountains over there. Like,
Mhm.
so it's kind of not compared with Novosibirsk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part of Turkey is kind of snowy and cold in winters.
Are there ski resorts?
Yes, we have.
Cool.
We have like 6 or 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I've never been into that kind of mindset that I can ski or I want skiing in wintertime or Christmas time should be snowy or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, tell us about Christmas in Turkey. Is it really celebrated a little bit?
Yeah, like 3 days in a row. 1 day is a bank holiday, and 2 days like a national holiday kind of holiday.
Also, the 28th of December, so
Yeah.
the 25th, of December is celebrated.
Yeah, in a way.
Also, technically, there's a national bank holiday for that day.
I guess not for Christmas, it's for New Year, but for Christmas, 25th is kind of observed as a holiday.
Oh, interesting. So people don't normally go to work on
The
25th.
Christian people, they don't go over. But for the other religions, they don't care,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
So even if you're like not a religious Christian, just a Westerner, I guess maybe they have
They don't
day
go.
off.
They off. They have a day off, yeah.
So Varya, what do you do for Christmas? Do you?
Well, I grew up in California, so a snowy Christmas was really not an option. Of course, if you went up to the mountains, there are ski resorts up in California mountains. But yeah, in Georgia, in Atlanta, it would snow for one time, like every few years. Yeah, and everyone would be really excited. But it would ice up the freeways, and there would be reports of people being stuck on the freeway for 24, 48 hours in traffic and having to abandon their car, and horrible things because we're not used to the ice.
Well, even Florida gets snowy sometimes, I've heard.
I've never heard of that. I don't recall snow in Florida. I don't recall that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it was just a freak winter once.
Maybe I can't imagine it snowing in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was surprising to say.
Yeah.
Well, London, where I spent most of my life, we have snow once every 2 years, maybe, but it's just a little small layer of snow. So we don't normally have white Christmases, unfortunately. As a younger kid, I spent my early years in Brazil, and there, you basically don't have any snow whatsoever. There are, of course, small sections of Brazil where snow might fall, but generally speaking, we don't have any snow there. And of course, it's in the southern hemisphere, so it's summertime during Christmas, which is actually really strange for those of you who are not used to it. So really hot and humid during Christmas.
I cannot imagine that.
Yeah, and I can remember having a little Christmas tree, or a plastic Christmas tree, I believe, as a little kid in Brazil, which was quite funny. And
a lot of people here have plastic Christmas trees because, people don't, support cutting down the trees, or they just think it's more convenient, and you actually save like lots of money because,
So you can reuse it next year.
Sure. Like, we've been reusing the plastic Christmas tree for 10 years, I guess. You cannot imagine how much money we've saved, actually.
It's a lot less messy. And also, I read this article on NGS, the Russian online newspaper. And there was this really horrible story about someone who bought a real Christmas tree, a pine tree, and it had loads and loads of insects impregnated in the tree. And there were these bugs crawling all over the houses, and he wanted to get a refund, but I don't believe he was able to get a refund because if you buy a live tree, the people who store the trees can't really inspect the trees with a microscope. And there were all these horrible insects all over his apartment. So
and how did they get rid of them?
I have no idea.
Flamethrower. Right?
Well, a while ago, we had a podcast about pests. For those of you who are interested, definitely check that out. I love that episode.
That was a nice one.
But yeah, I'm not sure how to get rid of such an infestation.
Burn it down. Yeah.
Yes.
That's my imagination. Yes.
Yeah, burn down the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they get all over the carpet and all over
The whole place.
the bed. You're kind of screwed if.
Yeah, why not?
So be careful with buying real Christmas trees. I would say, coming back to the question of snow for Christmas, you need snow at Christmas. Kind of isn't really Christmas if it hasn't got snow.
Well, all the pictures, Christmas cards are always with that kind of fantasy, a romanticized Christmas with the snow.
Well, do you love snow? Because I love snow. I mean, I wouldn't have moved to Russia, to Siberia, if I hated snow.
I love snow. I love it. I love it. Love it.
It's
love
romantic.
I'm still processing. I'm still there.
I don't think the novelty will go away because I just love looking at it. I could stare at it. I could be in it. I just love it.
It's just magical, right?
It is.
Yeah,
it's very
it is.
pretty.
Yeah, and it kind of like freezes you in time. And it's like this very quiet time where you just kind of, I don't know, get into yourself and just kind of be like in a time capsule.
Yeah, and it can also make places that don't look pretty look really pretty.
Yeah, even garbage and cigarette butts.
Exactly. It can cover all that stuff, which is why in April here in Novosibirsk, the city's not exactly the best.
Pretty muddy,
best.
sandy, dirty.
Yeah.
But in the summer, it's glorious. Novosibirsk is great in the summer.
I don't know why you say great in the summer. What do you mean great in the summer?
Well, it's a great place to be. You have beaches, you have nature around you.
Well,
Warm
nature is
weather.
amazing.
Yeah.
Sun.
It's a good,
Sun?
Yeah,
Not
I
last
saw it
summer.
once.
Yeah, last summer was not sunny.
It was
All
not.
right, that was enough for me,
Yeah.
I guess.
Really?
Yeah, after Vietnam, I guess that's all right.
No, I don't need the sun. No, I'm fine without the sun. But I wouldn't call it a summer. I would call, this is, I don't know what this is.
definitely not a Californian or a Georgian summer, of course.
Yeah.
but I quite like the summer here. I really, except for the pollution, of course, that's not a nice thing. But if you get out of town, you don't really have that problem much.
Right.
I don't like spring and autumn. I love winter or summer. What about you?
Summer. I'm a summer guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, here is also cool, like snow and everything. I'm just trying to get used to it.
It's just, it's the complete opposite extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas spring for me, it's just in the middle. It's like, what are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, come on,
Right.
hurry up. Well, do you like spring and autumn or fall? Sorry.
No, fall or autumn. It doesn't
Oh, you can
matter.
say autumn in
definitely.
America.
We say autumn. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. Let's see. Out in California, where I was from, or where I am from, or was from, we didn't have the 4 seasons as they call it. So we didn't have the colored leaves. But when I moved to Georgia, we had the colored leaves, and that is so beautiful. And then I see here too, there are colored leaves, so it's very beautiful.
You do have
Right.
a clear distinction between all 4 seasons.
Yeah,
here.
and I love when the first leaf falls. Oh, there it is. There's the first leaf. And then you kind of scuffle through the leaves. I love that. Yeah, and I'm talking about in Novosibirsk because that's what not in California.
Yeah. Well, you were in Vietnam, of course.
Yeah.
What's their seasonal change like, or is it just remain constant like California in a way?
We had 2 main seasons, wet season and dry season, but the temperature stays same, like in 40, 45 degrees all the time. Yeah, I remember like my last 5 Christmases.
40, 45, and humid as well.
And humid. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were relaxing on the beach, having our mimosas on the Christmas Eve.
Nice.
Yeah, that was quite an experience.
When is the wet season?
It starts around like at the end of January till the beginning of April or May. But think about the other way around. The summer season, like June, July, August, is literally the winter season in there.
So when is the best time to go?
September, October.
Yeah.
You don't have that much humidity that you can breathe at least when you go outside. But around like a January, February, so
Yeah.
So it's like hard to breathe?
hard to breathe, like in 45 degrees and like 100% humidity, plus the exhaust fumes of the motorcycles and the cars and everything. And you need to change your t-shirt like more than 3 times in a day.
Mm-hmm.
But that was fun.
You say it's hard to breathe, but then remember when you were in Las Vegas?
I was just going to mention,
that dry, that arid heat, and it would be like 100 degrees.
So for our listeners, so I spent time and Varya spent time in Las Vegas. How long were you there for?
Yeah,
again?
a year in 1980 to 81, 82, maybe almost 2 years.
So me too. I was there for just about under 2 years as well.
Yeah.
But the winters were actually really mild, and that
Yeah,
That's a
and
good
there
thing
would be
about
like
Vegas.
snow somewhere, isn't there? Yeah, there Mount Charles,
Yes,
right?
yeah, Charleston.
Right, yeah.
Is Charleston? With
No,
Charles?
I thought Mount Charles.
Oh God, what was it
I
called again? Whatever. But you
Yeah.
can go visit it, and it's supposed
Yeah,
to
it's
be really.
beautiful. Yeah,
They have bobcats and other
Oh,
wild animals
yeah.
up there.
But the aridity makes it very dry in your nose, and you can't breathe because you're talking about the humidity. But extreme weather does.
And then you have floods in
right.
in Vegas during
Yeah.
the autumn, winter, I believe.
Autumn.
It's really funny because you think of Vegas as being a desert and there would never be floods there, but there are really big floods there. And but the summer is really hot. It's like what the hottest temperature I experienced was in Celsius was 48. In Fahrenheit, there must have been
like
120 something.
120, definitely.
Yeah, it was another level
Fahrenheit,
of heat.
yeah.
But I guess, to be honest, I think Vietnam would be more intense because you have the humidity there.
Yeah. That's sometimes it's impossible to breathe. Really, you need to just sit under air conditioner and just be there, right?
Just
just exist, right? To exist.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, no, in Vegas, I lived in a pretty bad apartment and it had a really disgusting air conditioner, which was really old. It was like from the 80s or
You mean the
something.
cement?
Yes, yeah, there was some kind of damp inside it was horrible, and I just couldn't have. I had a choice between the heat or
the smell.
breathing
Yeah,
clean air.
me too.
So I decided, all right, no air conditioning.
Yeah, me too. And it was hot. But usually there'd be pools in each apartment complex.
There was a pool, but it had to be closed because there were so many homeless people who would do weird things in the pool.
Yeah.
Public toilet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is another subject altogether, but did Vegas have a problem with homeless people when you were
No,
there?
I went there before they invited families to come. So I was in Sin City where we were all adults. So it was much better. It was still when the mafia still ran it. So it was exciting times.
Because I loved Vegas, but it was really sad to see like all these homeless people everywhere.
Yeah, because I went back in later on and I saw that and I thought, oh, that's just horrible.
Well, speaking of the weather, the reason why the homeless people are there is because the weather there is somewhat, especially in the winter, which is what we're speaking about today, it's quite a tolerable place to live. Whereas if you're in Colorado or,
Rocky Mountains.
yeah, the Rocky Mountains, you're going to freeze to death. So yeah, well, speaking of homelessness, we don't really see much homelessness here. Well, there is homelessness, and I've discussed it before in previous podcasts, but would you say it's because of the winter is so cold, you can't really be homeless here?
Yeah, I guess so. So like maybe we used to have much more homeless people, because I remember being a kid and seeing lots of homeless people.
Or like in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, around that time. But still, I don't know. I think I haven't seen a homeless person for a long time now.
I mean, they do exist, but I guess the economy has improved here. And,
right.
And also it is just too cold to be homeless.
Yeah, so it's not like,
Siberia.
that big problem as in the USA, for example, because I've heard it's like, it's a real problem, right?
Yeah, in the States, unfortunately, it is a problem. In England, it's also becoming a problem too. Yeah, in England, we have a much milder climate, of course, than here. But in the winter, it does get cold, even though it's not really minus Celsius cold. It still gets cold because it's a very humid country, the UK. And when it gets to around 2 degrees Celsius, which is about, 35 Fahrenheit, you can really, really, really feel the cold. To be honest, I'd much rather be in minus 15 Novosibirsk than 0 degrees in the UK, because you can you feel the bite of the cold in the UK, whereas here it has to get
wet cold, right?
Exactly, yeah. Whereas here,
it's absolutely okay.
yeah, minus 15 is all right.
Yeah,
you can have a nice
warm.
walk. Yeah. So yeah, so if you're homeless in the UK, it's not exactly great to be in the winter when it's raining and really cold. So yeah. Another question I have is, do you say you become less productive during the winter?
I guess so. I guess everyone
I
does.
would say winter is my more productive season.
Really?
Because I'm inside and I just have time to deal with it. What about you? Do you notice a shift in production levels when it's summer or winter?
Maybe
Or
because of the sunrise. So it's still
like
dark
a problem.
around like 10
Mhm.
a.m., 9:30 a.m.
Mhm.
So I just feel like it's the nighttime
Mhm.
and I have to sleep more. So yeah, it affects my productivity a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm one of those strange people who actually likes it when it gets dark, when it gets lighter later. I quite like that. It makes me sleep better. And what do you feel, Varya? Do you like it when the sun comes up earlier?
May. This is the month I dread because I don't have blackout curtains and I'm really disturbed by the sun. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, it comes blazing in and then I can't get back to sleep. And so I really lack the sleep. And then it doesn't get dark until 11 or 12.
It messes up your sleeping pattern.
Yeah, it messes me up. And I rarely sleep at all in the summer.
Yeah, the summer, I find I feel drowsy throughout most of the day because it's so hot. And it kind of makes it harder for me to concentrate if it's really hot.
When you lack sleep like every day, it can make you feel depressed, and it makes me feel really depressed. So I have to be ready this May. I can't go through that again. It's horrible. I love the winter, these short days and long nights. Like
this
that.
morning it got light at what, 9 o'clock, 10 past 9, something like that.
Yeah.
I liked it. I had a good sleep because of it. Woke up refreshed. Whereas in the summer, well, not all of us wake up, but in the summer, it gets light at sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning.
When I lived in Georgia, oh my goodness, it'd be so hot and humid and you can't sleep at night. And I'd live in a little house, so I couldn't keep the windows open because someone might crawl through the windows. So the windows would be closed and it'd be so miserable. And I really hated that. So I think summer is like worse for me. Maybe that's why I love the winter so much. I'm just more comfortable.
Yeah. I would say, speaking of productivity, winter, like I said before, it helps you be more productive in my opinion, because you can just be inside, get out your pen and paper and do your work. Whereas in the summer, I just want to melt into into my sofa.
Yeah, and go like to the beach or somewhere, like to sunbathe, not to work. That's it.
Exactly. Well, I've got another question. Do you have any specific winter activities that you get involved with? Do you like skiing, snowboarding, making snowmen?
Well, I've tried snowboarding, but it's like too extreme for me. I cannot do that. I'm really scared. But cross skiing, I guess, is absolutely fine for me.
I would like to try that. So you're just on level land and you're just... Yeah, that's what I would love to do.
It's great, actually.
And they have different skis, don't they? Where the boots lift up.
I guess so.
And where did you try that? Here in the city, or did you go outside of town?
Yeah, sure. Like we have... we call it sosnovый bor. I'm not sure what you call it in English.
Pine forest?
Well, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of forest, but it's not like real big forest.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go there, you rent skis and you go skiing. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But there's no inclines, there's no slopes or anything?
No. So if you want to, you can find some slopes, but most of the time it's just flat and I just love it.
Yeah. I guess the reason why the boots come up is because it helps you move forward. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So I've only tried downhill skiing. I love skiing. It's great, but I haven't been for many years. Have you tried it before?
No.
Yeah, when I was 11, I went skiing one time with my girlfriend. It wasn't for me. It's nothing I want to do. There's no point in it. You just stand there and you go down the hill.
And then you have to go back.
And then you fall down and break your leg. I
love going fast down the slope.
Really?
That's the best part of it.
So you ski?
Yeah, I haven't done it in many years, but
goodness.
I love it. It's so fun.
But it's scary.
Yeah, scary. I wouldn't do it.
Like, I'm really afraid to break something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, some people do break bones. Yeah.
Lots of people do that. I know lots of people who, have actually broken legs and even, back.
Yeah.
It's a really serious thing.
It is serious, yeah. And I had a student who, she told me this horrible story. She was in Germany and she broke both of her arms when she was skiing. What a horrible...
Both arms.
Yeah, and she had to be airlifted by a helicopter down to the local hospital, and there was like a whole line of people with broken bones, and it wasn't even that big of a ski resort. And they have a special hospital dedicated
orthopedics.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Dedicated to people with broken bones. And so yeah, it is dangerous if you're not careful, but it is bloody fun.
I rode a snowmobile.
You
Wow.
rode oh, cool. Tell me.
In Prague, that was great.
What, in the city center?
Yeah, in the city center. That was great.
No way.
And we were drifting in and out, and that was kind of adventure. That was great.
That's awesome. That's so fun. I did
snow
not.
cat, or it's also called a snow cat, right?
Yeah, it's
That's a bigger
funny.
one.
It's funny because I just spoke about this with. I had a lesson yesterday. I was speaking about this, and yeah, there's 4 main brands. Was it Snowcat? Bombardier, which is a Canadian company that makes planes and other things,
and
Yamaha,
and
I can't remember the other one.
Trans Am or Trans something with Am or something. Yeah, there's 4 of them or 5 of them. Yeah, that was fun.
And they can go fast, can't they?
Yeah, they're great. Like in 60, 65 horsepower or whatever. So you can just push the limit and drift. In a way,
Are they noisy?
Yeah, that's great.
I'm sure they are.
You can hear the engine running well.
Yeah.
And do you go down slopes?
Wherever you like. So you can just ride it to the mountains or in the city center or the slope down to hill. But the main point is just drifting. That was a quite.
So this
drifting. Do you mean sliding, or what do you mean?
You could say drifting. Yeah,
it's a new.
It's like a driver's
drift the back of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's like a new.
Oh,
we have
back like a tail.
Yeah, tail.
Where you whip out the tail of the car. Yeah, it's like a word that these street racers use. Yeah, and in Dubai they have Dubai drifting because people love to drive like maniacs over there,
and they have lots of money. It's lots of luxury cars, so they can do
we
that.
like burn rubbers, like
that's a drag.
Dragging.
That's a dragging.
Yeah. Well, so you went snowmobiling right in the center of Prague.
It was considered to be the center, but it's not the city center. Like it was a forest kind of like wood.
Oh, okay. So
like
you weren't.
It was a parkour.
Yeah.
But it was like a 10 minutes drive from the city center.
Oh, cool.
So that was cool. Yeah. It was like in 2015.
Yeah, because I was thinking, are you doing it in, what is it called, Charles Square or
Charles Square and bridge? What was the name of the bridge? I don't remember.
The Charles Bridge.
Yeah. It is, the parkour is around the corner up to the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So around that corner, there was a parkour. So you can just drift.
Yeah, Prague is beautiful.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I've only been there in the summer, not the winter.
Winter time is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it's quite romantic and old school. And yeah. Well, which place do you think has the best winter vibe? Which city would you love to visit for a winter holiday?
So in Prague, that's 2 cities that I've been in the winter conditions. That's it. But Novosibirsk.
Amsterdam looks really pretty in the winter as well.
Finland. I would love to go to Helsinki. I think that would be a really great place to go.
And Lapland, which is the north of Finland, where Santa Claus is supposed to have his little ghetto.
Aurora.
Grotto, not ghetto.
Yeah,
Santa's grotto, not ghetto.
Because ghetto just means like a community of people living.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Makes sense.
Shutdowns and everything.
Gangster Santa Claus, Santa's ghetto, Santa's grotto, elves.
Dealer elf.
Yeah, exactly. Truck dealer elves.
Give me your money.
Yeah, no, I'd love to check out Finland. There's this little town called, I don't know how it's pronounced, Rovaniemi, and it's right in the middle of nowhere. In the north of Finland, and people fly there from all over Europe to
the Northern Lights and everything, right? So
Northern Lights.
Yeah.
The igloo hotels.
I've never seen the Northern Lights. Have you?
Me neither.
No, but you can actually see it in Russia, but you have to go like to the north, actually.
Yeah, like Murmansk.
Yeah, like places like that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, guys, definitely stick by for the after show segment of the podcast, where we'll further discuss our personal experiences with winter. And definitely leave a comment in the Telegram chat so you can practice your English skills and definitely check out our website, which is www.BigAppleSchool.com. And there you can find articles, videos, other important and useful materials for your English learning journey. So guys, thank you very much. And we'll see you in the after show segment of the podcast.
See ya.
See ya. Bye for now, guys. See ya.